All right, welcome to the cost management forecasting learning event. What we're going to learn today is about forecasting, what it contains, how it calculates, and what you can get out of it. There's nothing that you have to do to set up in order to do forecasting. If you should happen to click on it and it provides you with an error that is because it has not been set up for your specific environment, please contact support and they'll be able to bring it up. So knowing that there's nothing I need to do, I'm going to cover the two screens where it's contained within summary info as well as the forecasting, and I'm going to start in the forecasting screen. In the forecasting screen, I'm going to unlock the worksheet and go through all the buttons. Right now, I have one worksheet, and so I'll go through these different ones just to tell you what they do. The save changes, if I make changes as I go through this and I hit save changes, that's what's going to calculate everything out and save those comments. If I click on new worksheet, what that's going to do is that's going to create a new worksheet for today and bring all my most current costs in. And so it sustains or keeps the August 23rd worksheet and now makes a March 2nd. If I want to change the name of that or the learning event, you can type in a new one, hit save, and so now that will pop up there. If I would hit copy worksheet, it would have copied everything I had done previously and brought that over into the new one so I don't lose all of that work that I may have performed. Delete worksheet is exactly that. That's going to delete the present worksheet that I'm on. So if I click this now, it's going to delete the March 2nd and bring me back to the August 23rd version, which would be the most current. This time I'll kick out the copy the worksheet. So if anything was done in this specific forecast, it will be copied over into this new one. We have lock worksheet, which I'm going to cover at the end. And then we have the export to Excel, which you can click to always bring out the information that you have. Okay, now going through the columns, we bring in the cost codes with the category that mimic the estimate info page. So anything that you have within your estimate will be brought here down to the category level. We bring in your original units if input, which calculates out a new original. We track all the approved and pending changes against those, which will give you a new total. We do bring in all of the approved and the pending. So you can see the original here was $1 million. It's taking into consideration the approved and the pending changes to that million, giving me a new total. On the cost side, it's very similar. We have a listing of all the commitments. So I have commitments of 123,000 here with a pending, or excuse me, an approved change order of 1,000. Thus, my new total commitments 124, and that's going to be my total cost. This is a cost at completion, which means that we're going to assume that any contract that's written is going to be invoiced to 100% automatically. So that is why I'm showing a total cost of 124 here. The balance to complete is a quick calculation between your total estimate and your total cost, giving me the 900,000 I have left to spend. So we're going to stay on this line item here just to show you how it calculates out. The forecast is generically the units times the unit cost, gives me my forecasted cost to complete. So I will do this a couple different ways. I'm going to do one lump sum, and I'm just going to spend what I have. I don't think I'm going to bust in any way. I'm just going to spend the money I have. The next line item, I'm going to assume that I'm going to make $200,000. So let's do this as an each. So I'm going to do 10 each. If I want to make 200, that's going to mean these have to be 80,000. And then the last one could be a production here. Oh, I clicked outside the sheet. Sorry about that. Each and 80. And this one is going to be 8, 9, 8, 1, 2, 3. The last one I'm going to do, it would be as if I have a contract for a purchase order for materials that I have 100 widgets each. Sorry, this was supposed to be hours. And I'll make that actually 8,000 hours at $40 an hour. And then I have here I'm going to do each, so 100 at $10 each, and calculate that out. Again, to create the calculations, I'm going to hit Save Changes. That's going to work the calculations throughout. So this times this gives me this column here. So I can see my Total forecasted job cost is anything I've spent. So this specific one I've spent 124. So it's going to add these two together. And as I expected, I'm not going to lose or make money. That's why my variance is $0. On this specific item, I'm looking to spend $320,000, 8,000 hours at 40 bucks each, which means my total cost at the end of the job right now is going to be 320 because I haven't spent anything. The variance means I'm going to make 680,000 because I had $1 million to spend. On the last item here, I had $2,324 to spend. I'm looking to spend 1,000 bucks of it, which means I'm going to make $1,300 by the end of the job. The next thing we go is the actual complete. That is how much I've spent of my overall budget. So I'm 12% complete here. I'm going to assume that my risk on this remaining 895,000 is 10%. And I'm going to hit Save Changes, and we'll see how that calculates out. If I come back to this, you can see now where I used to say I'm going to spend 1.22 million. Now I'm going to spend 1.1 million, which means where I wasn't losing any money previously, if I take into consideration the 10% risk, now I'm going to be losing money. The thought process here would be that in the forecast, the PM or whomever's doing the forecast will forecast exactly what they think the job is going to cost. Because everyone has a past history and they're very smart people and they know that there could be potential risk, they're going to apply that risk here to show potentially where it may be. So you don't need to hide those acorns. So that would be the difference between forecasting and risk. I really think it's going to cost, risk what it could potentially cost. Worst case scenario. You can always put notes in here that would be carried over with the next copy of the worksheet if you needed to do that. So obviously it'd be very important as you're going down through this to put notes if you're doing things. So now I'm going to lock this worksheet. When I lock the worksheet, you can see the delete is gone and two printouts pop up. I have a print detail. In the print detail, we have all of the items listed here with your total estimate, my total cost, and my variance. This comes with the risk, again, worst case scenario. As we mentioned, this was a negative 89. If I scroll down to the bottom, it's going to show all of my items. Right now I'm doing really well. I'm looking like I'm going to make $626,000 on my contract today. If I click on the summary, it's going to do the same thing. That 626 I'd expect to be at the bottom, but it's going to summarize the categories. So here are my categories. Here's the 626, but I can see I shouldn't do anything other anymore because that's where I'm losing, and I really should do something involving equipment because that's where I'm making most of my money. Again, it's the same numbers, it's just a different way to look at it, more concise. The other thing that happens when I go ahead and I lock this specific worksheet is it's going to read back into that summary info. So I come back here, I go into the summary info. And within the summary info, this is going to be a one snapshot here, bring in the contract, the estimate, and then my forecasted items here. So within the forecasted items, I can see what I totally forecasted, how much I plan on spending, and then how much I plan on spending at completion of the project. So that's the other location that it's input at this time. So that's everything with forecasting. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment box or email us at support, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you for coming.